Alright, so, something a bit more chill today, like I said I was gonna do yesterday, after the long, drawn-out endeavor we had to get through Nightmare Before Christmas. We're gonna play some Nimrods today. Been a while since we've touched on this enjoyable little bullet heaven here, but I figure it's been a while. There's been some updates since the last time we played it. Now is about as good a time as any to hop back into it, because I really could not, for the life of me, decide what I wanted to do today. I was in indecision hell this morning. And considering my body's still kind of pissy and all that, seemed like a good time. Sounds good, Jay. Hope you're doing well today, bud. Okay. Reminding myself how to do things in here. We don't have anything else to buy, so we'll go ahead and just head on down to the battlefield. Where do I want to start us? Because there are a bunch of things that weren't around before. Like, I went ahead and reminded myself how to do things by cleaning Chaos Grove out again, so we don't really need to worry about that area. There are a couple items up here that are all marked. And then, of course, there's all this stuff down here. I think it'll be in our best interest to go through Waxwood. Now, I did purchase a couple things when I booted this up earlier to see if I actually wanted to play this. And this is one of the things I got, the GT Ultralight Railgun. Okay, yeah, all these are actually here. These two are purchasable. Need to find the crate for this one. I need to defeat Buzz Prime for that. One sec. Timing happened. Because, you know, sometimes things just happen to line up the exact second you're in the middle of doing something. Anyway. So we need to beat Buzz Prime to get that, and these two are gun crates. Okay. We'll give this railgun a try. I feel like this is going to end poorly going into a higher area to start off with and using a gun I've never used. But that's part of the fun. Finding out whether something will work. They've done a lot, though, with, like, UI design and things like that for this game. You will notice that things are a lot more coherent and clearer. Okay, I still have auto fire and everything up. So this gun actually functions based on charge. So, like, the longer I hold the button down, it'll actually pierce more enemies at once. Hey, and I picked up this Gambler pod. So what this does is it seems to essentially give you additional rerolls. But look at how different this menu is for anybody that's seen this game before. It used to be just like a bland 3 items in the middle of the screen. You only get the information if you hover over them. Now it's actually got quite a bit. Though this all here on the right was here before as well. It just was all against a backdrop of the field you're on instead of a nice backdrop, basically. And you can, of course, pull up what these things will change into, which is nice. I think the sucker grip will be a good idea since we are going to be fighting at longer distances with this probably, so we won't be taking the gambles. But for anybody that doesn't know how this game works, basically you are upgrading your gun, not you, for the most part. And just slapping more and more parts on your gun of choice to become as absurdly powerful as you would in a bullet heaven. Considering this is a lot of piercing and single bullets, we'll go ahead and... I hit the wrong button. I was gonna say go ahead and enlarge it, but you know, sometimes mistakes get made. Notice this negative here as well. You actually get less benefit from recessive tunings. That didn't... I don't know if that was always a factor and it just wasn't properly marked, or if it became a factor, but it is an issue now. Let's go ahead and get the Eye of Horus engraving. His critical hits seem like they'll be a good idea for this thing. Now, the reason my drone has a gun of its own is every time you finish a run, you get to keep the gun that you made during that run. And you can choose to give it to your drone or sell it. I have sold basically like every gun I've made except that nightmare that drone is holding. That gun is absurd. And you'll see why as we get further along, because the drone levels alongside you, as shown by that little meter up there. And it'll pick the exact same upgrades you picked along the process of upgrading the gun. So basically, it has a set path, as opposed to us who can just pick whatever we get our options for. Arguably, we can have a set path too, because we only have so many choices we can make at each level based on what RNG decides to give us, but we at least have some choice. Now, depending on the area we're in, our mini-bosses that appear periodically and things like that are going to change. I avoid this area for the most part because this area is kind of brutal for me usually, but we gotta get the job done at some point, you know? This is part of why this area is really dangerous. Bees! Thankfully, we have a bit more of a controlled weapon this time, so as long as I don't do what I just did there, we actually will be reasonably safe. Hey, Lucy, how's it going? And yeah, the bees. All the bees. They may not be in my eyes yet, but they may as well be. They're in my everything else. I'm alright. Little bit of a day, but you know, we all have those now and then. We will work around it. Go ahead and take the bullet size increase, so that hopefully I'll be able to hit more targets per bullet. Classic strategy of one giant bullet when you can't fire fast. I may go for splitting bullets with this, considering... Oh yeah, there are some new barrels. I did see those in the patch notes, and I think this twinned barrel is one of them. Yeah, his twinned barrel becomes bifurcation barrel. When you fire, your bullets will be connected by energy tethers that damage enemies as much as one of your bullets would. So is it an energy tether between the bullets, or is it an energy tether back to me? Because either of those would be good. But I do think the twinned barrel will be good for us, because rate of fire is not really a concern since we're charging this thing anyway. So what I'm thinking is we charge, we fire, and it's now twice as wide a shot, because there's twice as many bullets. Alternatively, we can get the magic module for guaranteed 100% crit chance. But I'm thinking the twinned barrel will be a fun idea, and it's a new thing, so, you know, try new things. Okay, that has more spread to it than I intended. But we can modify that and over time. But in practical terms, we have more or less doubled our damage, which will be helpful. Like, I feel like against hard targets, we'll demolish. It's just large quantities of small targets like this that are an issue. Like, I can just spam fire this, as you can see, but probably more effective to keep charge firing it like I have been. I say as I'm getting chewed to pieces, but you know. Or reload speed. Yeah, because because with quantity targets, I guess the spam fire might be the better choice. This doesn't seem like it's actually affecting the piercing at this stage of things. Grenade launcher, piercing ammo, scoped sight. No bullet damage decrease at distance is probably a good idea, because we will be trying to stay distant with this. We'll go ahead and grab the scoped sight. Piercing ammo did seem like a really good idea with this weapon, because more piercing means this will get more done per shot, which is going to be important to us. But I do think being able to retain my damage over distance is going to be helpful. My drone is betraying me. Why are you like this, drone? Why? We were friends. I built you. I gave you power. And now you're trying to kill me. Do let me know if that's too loud, because I did lower the gunshot volume a bunch. In fact, I'm going to lower it either way a little bit. That railgun's a little punchy in my ears. I don't know if it's bad for y'all or not, but it was a little rough for me, so. A little bit of tuning here and there, because I only tested the volume with machine guns, which have a different sound, so it's a thing. Yeah, we really don't benefit too much from the gun butter, but I don't really want the other choice. Well, I guess we'll take the crit bonus since we are aiming for some crit chance. And there's our first mini-boss, the Dingleberry. The Dung Beetle. Which, that's new. Used to be you'd get the same bosses here back when I played more actively. But that shot's homing on. This is bad times. We're gonna die here in a second, I think. Because that next homing shot is... Yep, gonna be death. Okay, railgun's not bad, but I think we might have been a little greedy going in there with it. We'll just take it on over here to the cell box and just get rid of it. Yeah, this power readout's also new. This helps you determine how good the gun actually was according to the game's metrics. In this particular case, this gun is stupid strong. As a demonstration of how it looks at full power... Yeah, that's why the drone keeps that gun. That gun gets very, very silly. You just need to live long enough for the drone to get that power behind it. Let's see. We're gonna keep it going from the waxwood border here. We're just not gonna go with the railgun right this moment any further. Yeah, and the base form for the gun my drone has is this assault rifle right here. But we got the Teslian carbine that shoots lightning bullets, which are fun. The optical carbine, which goes through clips faster, and the middle of the clip is more effective than the ends, which is interesting. The Hydra mini missile swarmer does exactly what it says on the tin, fires lots of little missiles. RPG, again, exactly what you'd expect. Fire big rocket. 50 caliber AMR, nice heavy sniper rifle. AK-47, exactly what you'd expect. SMG, again, exactly what you'd expect. Shotgun, pistol, all of these are as expected. Let's go with the mini missile swarmer. Let's have some fun. You'll notice these default home in on enemies, so I kind of don't need to worry about aiming at all. Like, this is going to be one of those ones I'll just turn on the auto-aiming and auto-firing on, and we'll just let it do its thing while I collect stuff and make decisions. Shock-mounted scanning system or the sucker grip again. This turns into shock-mounted AI and then shock-mounted targeting AI. I don't really need that. Let's go ahead and gamble. We could get the twinned barrel back. And I'm not sure how that'll interact with the missiles. Considering it's doubling bullet count, that means the, like, 5 swarm missiles we fire presumably turn into 10 swarm missiles immediately. So you know what? Sure, we'll give that a shot. The downside being the clip size shrank. So really, we are firing the same amount of missiles we were before. We're just firing 2 of them immediately instead of 1 at a time. Actually, a little bit of speed would probably be good here. That way the missiles get to their targets. Basically, the only input I'm going to have on this is getting out of the way of death and firing off frenzy when relevant. So you can even have it auto-fire the underbarrel, like this flamethrower. I don't want the containment field. Let's re-roll away from that. Jet stock could be fun, but we're not really going that route. What does Blood Magazine turn into again? Hemolytic Magazine and Vampiric Magazine or Bloodshot Magazine? I mean, that triples my bullet count when I'm above half health. That could be fun. Like, we either heal or get lots more bullets, and I think we know where I'm going with this idea. So we'll go ahead and take the Blood Magazine. Hopefully we'll actually get the upgrades. Because all you have to do to get the upgrades is just have the previous version. There's no, like, level requirements particularly or anything like that that I know of. You just have to have it show up after getting the previous version. Take that reload speed upgrade. Okay, we got a little bit of room before we level, so let's go ahead and make a move. Oh, there's a tower there. That's something I may actually want to take control of my aiming for. Then again, I can't really target aiming this either way because these homing shots might still go awry, so we'll just run up to them like that. Those towers drop magnets, which do exactly what you'd expect them to. Let's go ahead and get some Ripper clips. I would love to get the extra bullet count, but we need the magazine size for bullet count to matter here. And we'll go ahead and fight the bees this time. The explosions, as you can see, make much shorter work of them than the railgun was. Not really an issue anymore. We have quantity of fire to take care of quantity of targets. Now we can get a weighted stock, an energy blaster, or a bayonet. The airdrop capacity is somewhat tempting on the bayonet. What does it upgrade to get again? Lots of stats. Right, if you kill with the bayonet, you make your gun stronger. Meanwhile, this one mostly focuses on upgrading itself. Or we get the weighted stock, which is mostly protection while reloading and better bullet damage and reloading. I don't really like the idea of losing my move speed. I think we're actually going to re-roll here. And not exactly be the most excited possible, but the grenade launcher will do. Now, I have automatic underbarrel firing, like I said, so the grenades are going to go to some squirrely places, but it'll work out just fine. It'll do what it needs to do enough. Now, you want to make sure to grab all the things that aren't experience orbs as well, because you need all of those for upgrades and purchases in the hub. Don't really need penetration or size with this, so we'll take the airdrop capacity and spawn rate. Because more enemies means more experience. More experience means more power. You just gotta make sure you're able to handle said more enemies. Because otherwise you can very easily set yourself up for failure that way. I have actually thrown a few runs by increasing the spawn rate too much and destroying myself. Still, it should work out just fine right now. We could get our hemolytic magazine. Periscope harness is tempting. Excess damage guaranteeing penetration is a good idea for expanding where our missiles are going. Genetic ability being, in our case, the frenzy I was talking about before, for those that don't know. Yeah, we'll just keep pushing that so we can get our big magazine upgrade. Now, there is value to holding your underbarrel shots for specific purposes. I'm just not really in an active mood right now. We're just kind of gonna let things do their own thing, which is exactly why we're playing at Bullet Heaven, as you might imagine. If I was looking to be active, I had a lot of other ideas for what to be actively doing. That said, there are obviously setups where active gameplay is kind of required. We're kind of in a bit of a dodgy spot right now. One more missile or reloading faster? Let's reload faster, because I don't think one more missile is going to make that big a difference in our current situation. We need to find some healing. I could have kept going up, but there was a tower there. And as much as I would love to get the resources in the magnet from the tower, can't really be doing that safely right now. It will end in my death. Pretty much guaranteed. There's another tower there. Just trying to find a place where I can pick up some damn healing items. Not really having any luck right now. You can also still see the whole big map here and see all your statistics if you want to in the escape menu. Let's at the very least make a play for that box. If nothing else, we'll at least get something out of this attempt. Never mind, the boss is here already. We're in trouble. I did that thing again where I dilly-dally too long. Okay, you can outrun his projectiles, you just have to be far enough at the start or fast enough in general. Good to know. XP gain rate would be nice, but right now we want our Cold Forge casing, both so we get the health immediately, and the increased damage is going to be kind of necessary for digging us out of this hole. Not that I haven't just put myself in a worse hole by letting my missile launcher do what it wants. There's another tower. Oh, and we got hit by that. Oh no. Making that push for the box. Thing is, we are going to have to stay in the vicinity of this box within this blue circle until it activates for us, so this could get really, really bad. And by could get really bad, I mean it already has gotten really bad, and it's probably so over. Yep. Get used to these fast deaths, because I need to get my eye in again, and I don't have it yet. It's going to take a little bit to get my feet under me completely. I really should probably use something much simpler and safer right now instead of going for the silly nonsense. But one of the things you can do over here in the hub is you can talk to the robot over here to acquire more genes. Now, you gotta find DNA capsules around the world to actually get new ones entirely. You can also upgrade them over here to make each copy of them better. I need to figure out, again, how to... There we go. You edit this set. This is where you adjust your mercenary's genetic code based on what you have available. And you spend the slime bottles we've been picking up to mutate them further and extend your reach as far as what you can actually put on. As you can see, we have a lot of rate of fire and reload speed upgrades on this dude. We could put an underbarrel recharge rate or an effect size or a bullet speed, which then affects bullet range on there. But I think my priorities have been correct before on that one. You also have a second ability you can use, but you'll notice I've set it up more or less the same. It has not been mutated as much, though, because I prefer Frenzy. I much enjoy my massive increase to fire rate and reload. Though, if you're trying to aim for more survival, you probably want the Adrenaline Rush for the move speed so you can get away from things. And of course, you have a whole other character you can choose from as well, including one other one now. It used to be only Grim and Vixen. But if we swap over to Vixen, she's got Wombat Roll, which is your more traditional dodge move from this type of game, and what she started with, and the only one that was available when I had last played with her, Molotov Spike. So she just throws a Molotov bottle somewhere and blows things up. It's great. As you can see, I've definitely not played with her as much. Go ahead and throw a bunch of effect size on her, because that might work for her fire bottle. So that might be fun. We obviously want that max health increase. Kind of need that. Let's go ahead and get some mutations done here so we have a little bit more room to play with. So I can get that reload speed. Because the reload speed is too good. There we go, that'll be a little bit better. There's like just 2 of these and we have a 43% reload speed increase. It's pretty helpful. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that the roll is probably the smarter choice. Oh yeah, and these need specific bosses to unlock them. We've already dealt with this one, so I can actually unlock that. And, oh, I have dealt with that one too. Ah, this lets you upgrade airdrops, so you can get more options out of them. Which we could have so many other pod types, but I've not figured out how to get any of them. And you can add additional copies of them up to 3, as you can see here, which is fun. This man here is the arms dealer who sells you everything, but you have to get the blueprint for it, so he will allow you to buy it. We obviously have the plasma spiral and the dragonfire flame projector that we can purchase once we have enough money. We gotta get a lot of credits for that. Let's go ahead and break out the Teslian carbine. This should be a fun combination of concepts. But as you can see, every time the bullets from this make contact, it arcs lightning off of it. So it's very good for crowd control even without necessarily having to have lots of bullets, which is nice. There's our Campbell pod. What do we got in here? Blood magazine and magic module, arcane imbuer. Let's go ahead and take the magic module, because I like the idea of those guaranteed crits, even though it's only temporary guaranteed crits. The other upgrades on it should start doing some extra help for us along the way. Okay, let me take control here so I can fight this tower. If I can just focus fire on the tower will go down pretty easily. Plus or minus me taking little harm, because these spray towers are one of the harder ones to avoid. I probably should have saved that magnet, but it'll be okay. She's worse with Cold Forge casing, but 8% damage is still worth it, I think, at the minute. Since our damage is still on the lower side. So we can either get the sawed-off barrel, which is another new thing. There was I believe it was the sniper barrel. They replaced with the sawed-off barrel for now. They are planning on putting the sniper barrel back in, but it's in rework phase right now. So this increases damage, reduces lifetime, reduces speed, gives you more spread, and a lot more spread. But it turns into boomstick barrel, undertaker, and shrapnel barrel. Shrapnel barrel, I seem to recall, was there before, but it got swapped around, I think. I do like the idea of the increased bullet counts from these. I think we might play around with this, even though it's going to cut our damage. The slower that these lightning balls fly, I think it might actually benefit us against a larger target because it'll stay on that target longer. And I don't know if it'll keep making more lightning arcs the longer it's on target. So I'm kind of curious to see how that'll play out. We will force our enemies to ponder the orb. Now, I'm sliding into gimmick territory here for a bit, but I have an idea, and I want to kind of see if this works out. I'm going to try to just make these orbs as big as possible. And we will just blot out the sun with giant orb. Take shot control here for a second so we can clear these bees. As long as I fire a little bit ahead of them, you'll notice it's just cutting swaths of bees down. And we can just delete a crowd at need with our fire bobbles. Lucky charm. Since we have a bunch of effect size, things like the flamethrower I don't think is what we want. I think we want to re-roll this. The Ducky Charm is tempting. Oh, that's interesting. I have the Kiwi Charm, but I don't have the one before it, so the Kiwi Charm is literally unreachable. So that's an interesting scenario to find myself in. Yeah, the important thing about these charms is that your partner will get the effects as well. No, I think we'll hold for a different charm. We could get the splitting magazine, which would be very silly. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Bullet hits target, bullet splits into more bullets. And it'll just keep doing more of that. Yeah, compared to the other options here, I do like that idea. You can see it in action already. It just makes a bunch of little blue ball. It's not as exciting as some of the other alternatives could be, because I end up using the splitting magazine a lot. But it also just leads to very goofy things, so why wouldn't I use it? Yeah, we'll take the gun butter. It'll be fine. Rate of fire increases will kind of cover the gaps we have, which will be good. We can probably go for that other tower, actually, the one that's over here. Oh, there's so many bees here, though. And I don't mean the ones that are already aggroed on me. I mean all these hives all around this tower. This might have been a mistake. Yeah, I think I don't have the power output for this idea right now. I need to get out of here. Like, I think we have field control enough right now, but I can't keep field control while I'm focusing on that right now. So here's some of our other charms. The Heart Charm. If an enemy lasts for a while, they drop part of their experience immediately, but still drop the full value when they die, so you're just multiplying your experience amount available with that. And obviously, a bunch of healing-related effects. My favorite part being the Fancy Heart, where every time you heal at least 1 health, you spawn 10 experience. You just generate free experience. All your health regeneration turns into bullet damage. Or get lots of collection range. The Silver Heart Charm, I believe, is one of the ones I picked up today, so I'm interested to see how that works out. Because having just massive collection range would be nice. And that is obviously not one that our partner benefits too much from, considering the drone doesn't have health. The drone cannot die. The drone does not need to fear death. We, unfortunately, have to very greatly fear death. And I think what I'm gonna do when we die again is I'm gonna start us off in the basic area, gather our strength a little bit, and then we'll come up here instead of starting off straight here. Because I'm just not in it enough anymore to be able to start here and go straight to it. The alternative being we straight up just rush the items I'm trying to get to. You know what? We'll take the Tesla coil. There's the boss. This is the death knell again. This boss is pretty potent, all things considered, with those damn homing shots of his. I really need to focus on getting some move speed to fight him, honestly. If I can keep away from his homing shot a little more effectively than I am. We're making it work right now, but definitely is spicier than it needs to be. Yeah, but the problem is, especially for these tunings, bullet speed is what's attached to move speed. I'm just like, I don't need bullet speed that much. But since we did cut our bullet speed and range down a bit, we may actually want to take this induction coil in this particular case. So we can stand off from this guy a little bit more as well. Okay, we finally got him. Hoopnadoed, no success. Now, what is his specials? Because every boss has a couple special trophies they give. In his case, your projectiles will get larger over time, dealing 5% in damage for every meter they travel to a max bonus at 20 meters. That does fit together with the giant orb plan. It'll travel and grow in size. All these other ones are generic, but they're all quite good as well. We're taking the ordnance, though. We're gonna steal his bit. You'll notice even the sub-bullets are getting larger, which is what I was hoping for. This might actually give us that oh-so-desired field control. There's our bullet count increase. There's also the fancy heart. We're taking that bullet count increase. Now, 1.5 means it won't always fire 2 bullets, but every now and then it'll fire double, as you can see. And they just have to face the power of our balls. The good news is our drone's gun is starting to come into life properly. Because it's got a bit of a delay before it really kicks off. But now that you see the bullets actually starting to do damage and splitting and still dealing damage, that's when you know it's starting to get somewhere. Yeah, let's keep engorging our bullets. Gotta watch out for things like those bushes, since they're more solid than you might expect them to be. Right, I forgot those snakes split into more snakes. I for some reason thought it was only the boss version that does that, but no, it's all of them. There's that tower we avoided before. Undertaker barrel's not the one I wanted. Let's actually take the energy blaster. A little bit of extra firepower. I'm not gonna be able to deal with this tower in our current position and condition. I'm a little too close to death to be comfortable with that idea. So I suppose I probably could have thrown some fire bottles at it. I want that health back. You'll notice we didn't get that much out of it, but it's better than nothing. We could go for the nanobat power up. His 18% is actually a significant amount for her, since she starts with 200. But I think we'll stick with the anti-save selector. Try to get us up to 2.0 for bullets so that it's more consistent with the doubling. Make up for the damage decrease. There's also a side benefit to the gun that my drone has in particular. See that rank symbol it's got, and the rank symbol over there on the right? Everything that gets killed by the gun that has that increases both mine and my partner's damage. So that's why I'm suddenly actually dealing more relevant damage without me having taken any damage upgrades. It's a way of bolstering my power without having to bolster myself directly. So we can actually work with power multipliers more, instead of having to take just straight bullet damage or such straight away. And thankfully, Bertha's not super dangerous an opponent. Just don't stand in bad and you'll be fine. We do need to kind of focus our fire a bit more on Bertha, though. And yes, it does look like we're getting repeated damage when it's on a larger target. So it is chewing through Bertha's health when it's focused. Problem is, I am gonna die from all the ads here. I went to go get the box, not noticing that the bullet was there till too late. This was starting to go places. Just not quite enough, unfortunately. But we did get another boss defeated, so that's good. You have a lot of quests to get money from and such in here as well. Which is part of why I was able to buy things immediately, is I didn't have that much stuff saved up. But I got a bunch of extra money from all the new quests that automatically triggered because I had done them in the past. I think we're gonna have to do some prep work before we go to that area this time. And you can schedule your airdrops out. Like, if you don't want your gambler pods immediately, you could have them come in, like, way down here somewhere. But I think we're fine with having our gambler pods dropping immediately. Let's go ahead and upgrade the amount of gambles they get, though. Oh! Oh, I see. This is level 1. This is level 2. So it actually, like, changes completely. Okay. It ends up with a whole new name and everything. It's still listed the same here. Okay. Oh, I only have one upgraded one, it looks like. Interesting. Well, we'll see how that plays out in actual action, so I'm not sure how that's actually working. I'm getting mixed signals there. Let's go here and actually maybe keep it a bit simpler. Yeah, you know, we'll just whip out a basic AK. This way it's not exactly the same as what my drone has, but it's close. And it'll do a good job. Like across the board, no matter what I have it do. Here comes the boxcar pod. We could get the sawed-off barrel back, but I'm more interested in getting the heart charm early. Because we're not clearing the field, like, immediately, so all of these enemies may have a chance to actually drop their bonus experience. Fire trigger? Sure. With something that fires automatically, I'm not too concerned about a bit of spread. Okay, yeah, it seems like I have one upgraded one and one not upgraded one. That, not ideal. Let's see, ammo rack becomes ammo supercharging rack, then relativistic loader and reciprocal reloader. I like the idea of this relativistic loader. Shooting a bullet will increase its bullet damage by 1.4 for every empty slot in your magazine, up to a maximum of 84% at 60 empty slots. And it also gets us additional credits with the initial upgrade, which will help us start making money towards that plasma weapon. Yep, there's the chevron charm coming into play. So now we should start getting the bonus as soon as the robot actually starts being able to kill anything. I'm doing too much of a good job at shooting and killing right now for it to really start getting credit yet. As you can see, it has to kill for it to work. I can't do the killing for it. So I could obviously get the chevron charm myself, and I think they stack? I'm actually not sure how that works. Those apples are a healing item, by the by. Something that we desperately needed over in the B zone, but, you know, that's just how it be sometimes. I really regret phrasing it that way, but you know what? Too late. Already happened. Nothing can be done. Yeah, in a rare moment, I decided that we can do some Q&A while I'm doing this. So if people have any kind of questions they want to ask, obviously I do not 100% guarantee answering any and all questions, but I will answer questions that I can answer, or that are not questions I will refuse to answer. Like, obviously, there's a variety of reasons why a question would be ignored or denied, but I figure I'll open up the floor for that today. Then again, you do get reload experience from the lightweight grip. They made sure to give all of these, like, nice extra bonuses at this point to make sure that there's none that are, like, super meh to use. Admittedly, this one's still not super exciting. Like, the premium grip can be fun, because you can just sit there and just get credits like crazy this way. And the increasing reload speed on the memory grip is also quite nice, but you gotta get there. I think we'll go for it, though. That seems like the right kind of attachment for something like this anyway. One of the minor downsides to automatic fire in the auto aiming and auto firing type, not the full auto type, is that I can't control what direction I'm firing in, so it just kind of does its own thing. So I have to keep chasing after where the experience is landing instead of focusing on the direction I'm going in and clearing that path specifically so that I can always keep picking up the resources. What I'm doing though is I'm looking for towers. There we go, there's one. You'll notice this one's different than the ones in the other area. These single fire towers are really nowhere near as dangerous. They are kind of durable though, especially early on. We're just gonna do the circle dance here until we break it. And you can see quite obviously that we are having a little bit of struggle because we're letting the enemies spawn while I'm doing this. Because the drone's not really holding his weight hard enough yet. We are getting a power boost from him because we're up to 55 on the Chevron and Charm, but not really like inherently enough on its own. There we go. We'll be able to get a bunch of power this way. So we got the Hell Spitter Barrel, which is worth thinking about. Which turns into Hell Splitter or Hell Fire. Right, I forgot. This is the one that shoots 360-degree bullets. I hadn't really gotten a chance to use that one too much. Yeah, you know what? We'll go for it. Why not? As you can see, it's already radically changed the fire rate of our gun. We just go... Oh, we got a reward for leveling up 1,200 times. That should tell you just how much I've played this game. Well, if we raised our fire rate, we kind of need to raise our mag size to compensate a bit there. Otherwise, we'll be forever reloading. It's either that or get tons of reload speed so that we don't reload for long. I kind of like the sound this machine gun's making, now that it's sped up to this point. There's something nice about that sound, compared to the other assault rifle sound. Okay, we got classic split serpent here. Which, this is the downside to not rushing into the new area, is I'm not gonna see as many different bosses. Sometimes you gotta do that. And there we go, there's Split Serpent living up to his name. He's now a bunch of smaller dudes. Which, thankfully, he counts as having been killed when his first form dies. Like, his drop is back there. The problem is, it's back there and we're over here. So, you know, one problem at a time. Actually, let me... Nope. I want automatic firing, but I wanted manual aiming. So we could get Splitter's Egg Sac, which will make our bullets split into other bullets. Or we can get Power and Prestige, which just makes numbers go up. Fame and Fortune, which makes lots of numbers go up. And Glory and Victory, which is one I very rarely take. But I'm debating it right now because Fire Rate Funny. And I think we're gonna go Fire Rate Funny for this gun. The reason why I wanted aiming control, though, is so I could throw the couple fire bottles around. Because I can't independently move the cursor when I'm in automatic targeting mode. Could get Splitting Magazine. But then we're basically just making a copy of the other gun, and that's already on the drone at that point. Maybe we don't do that. Maybe we don't clone that quite. Let's get the turret placer, actually. Leveling up will grant you 2 turret charges, and then you can deploy them. You can hold up to 6. As you can see, we already had 6, so the turrets are just all here. Which, the automatic placement is going to actually be a little bit of an issue there, because it means every time I level up, it's just going to shit the turrets out. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means the turrets get placed. Okay, let's get on the road toward where I want to actually be now. Because we should be able to hit up another tower if I go down and right, which will lead us where we're going anyway. And that'll sort itself out. Hey, there's also these wizards running around in specific places where you get a bunch of eyes for killing them. At least I think it's always eyes. It might be other things too. I don't really remember. It's very much a making this up as I go along scenario here. Now that the drone's kind of come into its own power again, it's providing us quite a nice boost. Pushing our mag size up 15 is not a bad idea. Since we don't really have like a minigun or anything, we will just make our own minigun. I also forgot that there's an entrance to this area up here. Defend the tree. Defend it with your life. Yes, this tree is so fucked. I chose a bad time to be toying around with that idea. Yep, it's dead. Failure. Oh yeah, you gotta shoot your way through here. No, it'll be faster to just go around them. Let's do it. We'll just knock the fruit out of this tree right quick. Actually, yeah, how about I do this? We'll stay in automatic, like, attack mode, but I'll aim. Yep, there we go. There's the helix barrel. Lots of bullets coming out of the drone now. The drone's really gonna start getting work done. Aside from things directly in front of him, he can't hit anything that's directly in front of him now that he's got the helix barrel. So it's a little sad. Actually, this is gonna be great because we'll get the turrets. Explosive magazine. That could be fun. And I do have some good stuff for that, because I actually recently bought the Earthscorn tech. So the bonus to effect size from this will actually affect our fire bottles and such. Sure, you know what? That'll actually help clear more quantity of targets too. Because all of our bullets explode, and we are firing a lot of them. Oh, this is bad, though. I don't know why those turrets didn't auto-place, but we'll get that done. Get control of the field here a little bit. Oh, Bertha, you have bad timing. Oh, Bertha. Why are you here now? So, big gulps, huh? This is an issue. This is what is commonly referred to as a fucking problem. Nope, I'm so fucking dead. I didn't have any room to move to the sides. I moved back too far. I am just not with it today. I knew that, but it's extra frustrating when you're usually better than this and you just cannot close a deal today. I started in the safe area too, and we still ended up in the same bad position. Something must have changed, or I'm just doing something fundamentally wrong somewhere along the way. Go back to Grim. With the way I'm playing today, I'm just not really making enough use of those fire bottles. Why would I want that? I swear. Oh yeah, we can also make some upgrades for our drone. Let's go ahead and get the auto dock, because getting its health regen might be useful. I don't really need or want the other ones. the drone really hasn't ended up in places I don't want it to be. Guess we can give it speed, sure. Okay, can have 2. We're obviously taking auto dock. So I don't know how much health regen's actually on that gun. We can look. Come here, gun. Inspect gun. At its best, it has no health regen. So you know what? Maybe we take the turbo thrusters instead then. Never mind. As if it has the health regen of fucking nope. That doesn't really help me at all. And we need to get another circular gene if I can. Cost me a lot of them eyes, but that's fine. Another 7 health might make the difference between victory and defeat. Back to basic bitch land. I mean, if we're going Operation Flat Out Fire Rate, I probably should take the SMG. It has the highest starting fire rate. Its damage fall off is worse, though. So there's a counterpoint to that. Actually, no, the highest fire rate starting is the optical carbine. What am I talking about? Its mag size is horrendous, but it'll be fine. We can fix that. It's a little bit weird looking, as you can see, with how it shoots. But it should be absolutely fine. Flamethrower or lightweight grip? Let's go back the way of the lightweight grip for the move speed. And since this only has 7 bullets, it'll also reload a lot, which will help us. Even though we have a detriment to this, I'm going to take the experience and credit bonus anyway. And lots of levels right off the top. Let-off barrel again? We didn't even live to see the shrapnel barrel come into play. So, you know what? Sure. Get me some reload speed. Some more reload speed. It also plays into giving us a healing bonus, which matters only if I can actually get any healing. Oh, there's the scoped sight that I would have grabbed if I had the... If I had went the SMG, this is what I would have grabbed. Because we would have gotten rid of its one downside. Which this still has medium fall off, so it's not the worst thing to get. But I'm thinking we get the Chevron Charm, because it'll be hilarious having 2 copies of Chevron Charm. And then we can buff our damage like nobody's business. Just bear in mind what it said about them stacking indefinitely. You need Sergeant in order for it to share it. But that'll be fine. Actually, yeah, let's get the induction coil for a little bit more travel speed and distance, because this does have a little bit of a range issue. Damage output's not the best at the moment, but that's a solvable problem. Especially once this magnet gives us everything that's coming to us. You could get the capacitance stock for bullet count and mag size, considering we're going with the shrapnel barrel plan. Ooh, every 10 shots in your magazine increase your underbarrel max charges. Ooh, I am getting ideas from that. Hang on, my headphone wires wants to be a pain in the ass. There we go. Move that over here. That should solve that. It's gonna put more of a delay between my reloads, but that's okay. Because we do want a longer period for the middle of the magazine as well, so we actually benefit from this gun's ability. Actually, larger bullets wouldn't be a bad idea for this too, since they're already decent size with the middle rings. If we make that larger, that'll do more. I feel like we didn't get as much out of that magnet as we could have. I really thought there was more stuff left scattered, but apparently not. I was actually pretty good this time, apparently. Then again, I was also controlling my direction a bit more. We do get the most out of damage increases. But we have something that's buffing our mag size in particular, so let's just keep buffing our mag size. You don't necessarily need to hit them hard if you're hitting them a lot. And remember, we have the Chevron charm to give us honor and leadership. Yep, there we go. There's the Sergeant charm for the drone. Okay, yeah, now he's getting separate stacks from us with the Sergeant charm, as you see over there. I'm not sure how to feel about the sound that this is making at this point. Okay, that's funnier, though. Bling, 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 bling. Tech module containment field, no thank you. Energy blaster, no thank you. Give me the empowered stock. I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that the empowered stock changes color completely. Like, I liked having my blue gun with a blue stock. Now I got a blue gun with a yellow stock. I'm just not as here for that. You'll notice occasionally it's firing a spread of 3 sets of shots, and I'm not entirely sure how or why it's doing that, but we roll with that. And that's why I was kind of dancing on the line there, is I wanted to trigger for the Dingleberry fight again. Though, arguably with what I'm setting up here, Split Serpent might have been better to get his genome for the splitting shots, but again, that's something we do too much. I don't want to keep doing the same things all the time, even if the same thing is the effective thing to do. It's kind of funny how you can really tell when Frenzy wears off with this thing. Is the tone of this gun, like, completely changes. There we go. Take him out. Oh, he had a different thing. Dingleberry's Carapace. Bullet count, underbarrel recharge rate, and in a 20 hit point shield. The shield will regenerate by a 0.005 health per second if you've not taken damage in the past 5 seconds. Or I could get the Ordnance. I'm taking the Ordnance because that's the idea I had in my mind. Now we shoot giant rings. Gyroscope harness? That would give me a lot of bullet size. We're gonna start running into damage fall off problems. It also reduces my fire rate, which is not acceptable. Since we're getting additional charges for our underbarrel, let's take the turrets. I'm curious to see how that'll interact. Like, will it let me have more than 6 charges? You know, the combined chevrons here is working out real well. Like, our damage output is actually doing well. I don't feel like we're behind the curve like I usually do today. Which, let me tell you, it's nice to not feel behind the curve for a change. Go bust up the turret that's up here. I know I'm gonna take some extra heat being in this close, but I do a lot more damage this close too. And while we had Frenzy going, it was a good time to just go for it. Underbarrel recharge doesn't help us at all. Because the turret only recharges when we gain a level. Case in point, like that. Unless it gives me, it might give me more charges per level, actually. I seem to recall that that's a thing that was discussed when we were playing this a lot more, and it actually proved out that that did work. Let's go ahead and take the crit bonus. We may not crit often right now, but if things work out according to plan, we will gain more crit at power later. And as it stands, we're firing enough volume of shots, we're still getting some crits. It still kind of works itself out. Not a perfect solution by any means. Oh right, there's these curtain fire turrets. I completely forgot about these. They're thankfully weak compared to the other turrets in terms of how much health they have. Not weak in terms of how much they'll fuck your shit up, as you saw, but you know, take what you can get and all that. I've chosen a poor time to be taking this fight right now, though, I think. Custom turrets. It only makes the last 6 shots match my gun. Do you really enjoy the Arcane Imbuer? We'll go ahead and take that. And there's Bertha, master of bad timing once again. Don't get me wrong, they show up at the same time every time, so it's entirely my fault that it's happening, but I'm gonna blame them anyway. On the bright side, Bertha's a nice big target for me to fire all of this spread shot into. And goodbye, Bertha. Oh, kill Bertha with an optical carbine. Apparently I never did that. That is a full 1.0 damage increase. But I could jumpstart my crit chance quite nicely. That said, considering I have that thing from the arcane infuse already at this point, I don't know if I need that anymore. We could take glory in battle and just be funny. You know what, let's take glory in victory. What do you mean I have a magazine size? No, I don't. Just piss away the entire magazine instantaneously. Switch to auto-aiming for now. I don't have anything to focus my shots on. Oh, never mind, I suddenly do have something to focus my shots on because there's another tower. There we go. We have something that reaches the fire rate cap, which technically it doesn't because it was because of Frenzy that it reached the fire rate cap. But, you know, it reached it. I'm surprised I never managed to do that before. I feel like that was something I went out of my way to do before, but I guess I just kept dying or something. That doesn't actually help anymore, admittedly. It does give +2 mag size, which is actually more than 2 because of the fact that we have multipliers in play for that. So it would get me 5 more bullets in my magazine, or I get the thaumaturgic battery, which gets us a second frenzy charge, and more crit bonus. But it might actually be a good idea to get the blood magazine, because we tried for this before to get the blood shot. And I think we can do it this time. This is just silly. Oh yeah, speaking of silly, these are pretty goofy as well. You have to spin this thing around a couple times to get it to release the items it has. So just spin around and then you get stuff. Let's try the beehive. We should be able to actually make a play for the item now. We actually could have made the play for it sooner, but I got distracted on my mission of vengeance against that tower. Speaking of that tower, it is going to be in our vicinity. There we go, 5,000 enemies with the optical carbine. I really just don't use this gun, apparently. I thought I used it more than I did. It's a good gun. It's a little silly. You know, no, I think I know what happened. I think I stopped playing around the time I got this. Homing site blueprint. Neat. I think that's a new one. So I don't recall there being a homing site before. Give me my magnet. Get me all them levels. Yeah, our fire rate is currently capped because of our frenzy that's happening. Because your stats will reflect the effects you have going from things like frenzy, which is fun. Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and throw some Gunny's notches on here. Get us some more targets. Now, there's more stuff further in here. There's a gene pod there and another gun part over there. Looks more like a gun part, but we'll see in a moment when I get there. There's the tech splitter magazine for the machine gun on the drone. finally assume direct control of my firing again so I can get rid of problems like this tower. There we go. More magnetism in play so I can get more towers down. Ah, the pod landed up there amongst the bees. Okay. Oh, we can finally get the boomstick barrel. It's been a while since we saw anything relating to this. Thing is, it's all good stuff here. All of these are things I want. This wildly increases our bullet amount, so I think it's worth it. The reload down might come back to bite me. Put some gun butter on there, but let's get our mag size up to compensate for that reload speed a little bit. We're almost to the pod, but we are getting into trouble now. Yeah, no, we're definitely in trouble if even Frenzy's not cleaning house completely. Let's trigger some more of these mines to get them away from me. Without the mines, we're a bit better off. Vipress. Oh, and a tower. Oh, I hate it here. I have made mistakes showing up here. Now would be a very good time for a level, so I can get some turrets. Thing is, there's one fundamental problem with this setup, and that is it doesn't have any experience bonuses. So it struggle buses a little bit in that regard. I don't know if I did that skull or if that thing is doing that skull. Okay, we got Vipress down. Vipress's fangs. Getting damaged by an enemy will increase your rate of fire by 24% and movement speed by 12%. No. Let's grab Fame and Fortune this time so we can get that experience bonus and get our crit rate up to go alongside that very hefty crit bonus we have. And even though the alchemical crest is a lowered thing for us, we'll take that experience bonus as well. We need to start making some headway on that. Because that meter's just moving too damn slow unless we pick up a particularly potent experience gem. Like, I'm getting plenty of levels, but many could be more. I walked into his range again, and I don't want to be there. Oh, but I need to walk into his range to go get that, so that's going to be an issue. Remember that I'm standing on a landmine when I come out of here. Need an extra frenzy. Okay, I think we actually killed the tower that was causing the issue. There's the Undertaker barrel, but that's not the one I wanted. We could get the Sergeant Charm now, so we can do the feedback loop of bonuses. Yeah. Now we can start building up the bonus for the drone, which will then build up the bonus for us, and it just keeps looping. It's a joyous loop of power. More max health, more bullet damage. So if I can't heal the conventional way, I'll just keep raising my max health to get health that way. We really should go kill another tower, though, so we can get a magnet. Like one of the regular towers. Also, the pod landed down here. Which means we have to go around over here, I think, to get at it. I guess let's actually just focus on going that way, then. Instead of worrying about getting me a magnet. Because there's plenty to pick up along the way there. Considering we've just got enemies dying on and off screen all over the place. Okay, I've got an extra charge of Frenzy in the pocket in case I need it. My level up pod landed behind me, though, and I didn't realize till now, so let's go get that first. Don't really want to leave a level up pod behind. You are going to be very sad if you do that. There we go, there's the shrapnel barrel. Our damage is going to go down a bunch, but our bullet count's going to skyrocket. There we go, there's the spread. Screen coverage. You cannot evade my rings of doom. Hula hoop this bitch. There we go, 50% crit rate. When I go Frenzy, this is gonna be great. Oh, hey, a tower. Frenzy! No more tower. And now here comes all that experience. While we're frenzying, let's defend this tree a bit. And we can just keep vomiting turrets all over the place while we're protecting this too, so it'll work out perfectly. Look at all the stuff that's not allowed on screen now. This is how you know your gun's working. But increase that mag size. Go ahead and get that hemolytic magazine. Oh, hey, there's a boss already covered in bullets. Hello, Sir Bedivere. There's the vampiric magazine, but that's not the one we're aiming for. We wanted the bloodshot. Tempted, but I'm not going for it. Go ahead and take the imbuement stock instead. Hi, Sir Bedivere. How you doing, bud? If you said not great, good news. That's about to be very true. Frenzy! So anyway, there used to be a bunch of beehives around here, and there used to be a boss. That's the first time we've defeated that one. Bedivere's dual stingers for 32% bullet damage, some move speed, and some max health. Or his wings for 60% bullet damage, less mag size, more ability recharge rate, and move speed. I'm taking that because I'm fine with losing 5 mag size in exchange for those other parts. Keep raising that crit rate. And if you're thinking that some of my bonuses are contrary to each other, that's because they are. Oh, there's a hole here. We can't actually get to where that gene pod is from here. Well, that's a problem. Either I can go around, which may or may not work, or I may actually have to figure out a bridge or something. There's a couple areas like this where it's just like, huh, head scratcher as to what I'm supposed to do here. Drone just got a bunch of levels. Go ahead and start getting some more enemy operate. More enemies for my stupid bubble gun to fight. It's a bubble gun. Face the power of my bubbles. turret just didn't even stand a chance. It existed for a second, then just got eviscerated. Okay, yeah, there's a door here, and the lever's on the other side. So, it may be that I either have to go very far out of my way to get there, or I need to make the bridge like I was just talking about. There's our bloodshot magazine. But we have to get above 50% health for this to matter now. Well, once we're above 50% health again, though, we are going to pop off, as the kids say. Not that we haven't already gone wild. That volume is crawling up as we go, so I may make another adjustment here. There we go, cut that down to a dull roar. Make this a little bit more pleasant to listen to, hopefully. You know, I'm still here, but you're stuck with that. If you're here, you're stuck listening to me. As I demolish the local wildlife. There we go, we can at least go get this part. We might actually be able to get to a biome I've never been to, because they did add a couple. Well, since the last time I played. Tech module bidirectional attractor. I thought I had that already. Huh. That's a weird one, but it's fine. Magnet powers. Nom, 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 nom. Deforestation. Destroy 10 honey trees. Let's go and get the honors cross charm now, since I'm aiming for some more enemy spawn rate anyway. Those chargers could still be an issue. Yeah, you know what? Let's push up towards 6.0 bullet hit count. Why not? Ooh, there's a barricade for me to destroy. And now there's like eggs or something? Oh wow, there's barriers all over the place in here. I don't like this place. Well, this must be the hive zone though, because this is laid out like a beehive with all like the hexagons and such. Hey look, more gun parts. Give, 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 give. You can't stop me, I've got too much gun. Give, 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 give. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Supercharged stock. 15,000 enemies with the optical carbine. Also, we're at maxed out fire rate, apparently, even though I haven't even frenzied. So that's a thing. So if I do frenzy... Oh god. Queen Betty. With her dual cannon arms. I mean, the frenzy still helps for my reload speed at the very least. The frenzy's still not useless, it's just not as useful. Also, my drone is making the screen kind of hard to look at with the amount of little tiny bullets. Let's see, we got Betty's crown, and that's the only new thing. 32% bullet damage, 10% credit bonus, 10% credit drop chance. Sure, why not? Let's just drop a crown on my head. Ooh, got a crown now. We're running out of upgrades. Let's go ahead and grab the ergonomic grip at this point then. I'm not really interested in the turret placer upgrade that much. Let's see about proceeding further into this zone and see what we can find. New territory, of course, helps keep this going. Now, do I want the memory grip or the premium grip? Getting hit will damage our bonus there. So that might not be the best. We also will max out our crit rate here. Then again, this one does bullet damage and crit chance. And this one does fire rate and crit chance. Both of which are going to end up overflowing and not actually benefiting entirely. This does raise our reload speed, though. That's worth considering. But I'm thinking that credit drop chance. Because even though I'm concerned about getting hit, we're not really getting hit that much anymore. Unless something like manages to sneak a ranged attack through, or I happen to have the auto-aim miss a target. Oh, I think we've passed that threshold, considering we've just got a giant death wave firing out of our gun now. Ooh, Slayer's Sigil. We can lower our crit chance, which is already gonna still be capped out and get more crit bonus. Sure. Raising our health more. Giant B symbol. That seems concerning. Oh, we just dropped a bunch of health. I think we have something that takes our health to fire somewhere in this build. Hang on, what is doing that? Why am I losing health? Oh, right. Shooting while above 50% health will cause those bullets to deal 538 damage to each enemy they hit, but deal 0.2 damage to yourself. So since I fire so fast, 0.2 damage builds up fast. Is half my health bar's gone. Half my health bar's gone. It's a good thing it can't kill you, otherwise I would have imploded like instantly. Anyway, I guess I'll just defend this tree, as nothing can even enter the screen. Frenzy for the reload speed. There we go, success for free level up. So you may be wondering why all this experience is ending up at the very edge of the rooms, by the way. It's because it can't drop out in the void where they're dying. So it gets dropped closer to me by a default, pretty much, which is handy. Some more bullet speed for more bullet range. Yeah, because I'm already totally not just killing everything off screen to begin with or anything. Our custom turrets now. As the whole edge of the area gets lined with turrets. Now we'll take the frost turbine for a little bit of recharge rate. Why not? There's another big circle. Oh. Come sooner next time, only melted wax remains. So I guess I have to be fast about getting here. There's the sniper placer, which I think is all of our components as upgraded as I can upgrade them with the parts I have. Also, we've had the premium grip maxed out for a bit now. And there's the turrets popping off with the blue ring shots of their own. This is leading towards where that genetic pod thing is, so hopefully we'll actually be able to get it. Yep, level up. Ooh, restorative nanobot canister. Ripper clip. And yeah, we're definitely on the right track here. 15 defense towers in a single run. I didn't even see the defense tower that I blew up, so I don't even know where to go find the thing. Magnet. That's sad. Oh, there it is. Give me all the delicious levels, because enemies are actually starting to survive my onslaught again. It's getting a bit ugly in here, as it turns out. Out of augments. Yeah, that's correct. Frenzy! Dig me out of this hellhole. Titanus. There's the gene pod at least, so we'll be able to get that before everything goes to hell in a handbasket. Raising our bullet damage now. You found the pinpoint gene. I think that's gonna be crit chance, because I don't think we have one for that yet. We have so many level up pods just all over the place. Is from that engorgement we just had. I don't know why I've said engorgement twice today, when I very rarely use that phrase, but you know what? It fits. It works. Oh, there's Titanus. Oh yeah, we have to kill enemies in those circles. Not really gonna be super viable right now because our range is too damn long. Bullet size, sure. Frenzy. Similar to rage. Now let's just focus Titanus down. Just hose big old Beetleborg down. And we win. There we go. We turned around and actually got a winning run today. Look at that. Victory. And we got a lot of bonuses out of that one. Got Loot Goblin 5, Eye for an Eye, You Shall Not Fast, Counting Carbs 1, Wasp Drill, Deforestation, Counting Carbs 2, Tower Takedown, and Self-Defense 4. 15 million damage dealt in a single run. New record! Double what the Self-Defense 4 thing triggered off of, so our damage must have jumped immensely in that moment then, because it triggered right before that run ended, and we nearly doubled it in that time. So just consider that. Consider the amount more damage I was doing, because enemies were surviving our damage, I think. We did so much there. That was an entire board of new records. Farthest is now available in the drone bay. So let's see if the power's higher on this gun. 6694, 6373. Yeah, it is slightly higher. All right, we'll keep this one though, because that's a good gun. So pinpoint, yep, crit chance. I'll pick up a couple of those. So I'll definitely need to see about upgrading them before I want to do anything there too much. Ooh, that's almost 10% per slot. That has potential actually to be very, very good. I don't think it's good enough to replace any of the things I've got slotted in at the second, but that's future potential. Also, if you want to look at any of the augments or anything, they have a Gunpedia for that now. And you can see there's still quite a bit we don't have. I'm gonna assume Business Prime is in that honeycomb zone we were in. Yeah, homing sights of bullets home in on enemies. Yeah, I've seen that bidirectional attractor. I guess it just got taken away and put in a box at some point in the updates. That kind of thing happens when you've played a game for a long time, especially early on in its life cycle. Sometimes your things get taken away from you. There we go. We have 3 gambler pods now. We still don't have any of the other pods. You have to actually sustain hits from the Split Serpent. I wonder what that would even do. Beat Biz's SMG. Alright. Oh yeah, I think the vision range thing, by the way, zooms the game out if I remember right. So if you want to, like, see super far, you're gonna end up zooming out a lot. Which might cause its own complications. As you might gather from the yawning and such, this is going to be a short session today. Probably, like, at most 3 hours, unless I really get on a tear. Speaking of, throat's getting a little angry already. Don't know if it's allergies or if it's side effects of the acid or such. A lot of options there. And I mean stomach acid before anybody's like, wow, this guy's dropping acid all the time. Honestly, I think life makes little enough sense. You don't need anything like that for it to make less sense. Any particular missions I want to try to go for here? Like, I really want to go into that bug zone more. But we don't have a shortcut into there, which is going to be a little ugly. Yeah, we are looking for Superior High Barrens, Older Chaos Grove, Twisted Tangle Maze. And there's another one that was mentioned... I thought there was another one mentioned in the latest update. Also, apparently, there's a bunch of cell-specific things as well. Yeah, we'll just keep exploring around for new areas. Oh, we did get a checkpoint up here in Venom Valley. Okay. So we do actually have a pretty close checkpoint to getting into here, then. It's obviously going to be harder. The alternative is we go down into here and go get the parts and such that are down here, which is probably the smarter call. And what we can do... Actually, we do have the mech scrapyard spot. I was going to say we could spawn here and go down. But if I have a spawn in there already, fuck it. I know from when I went in during testing that this is up on a hill, so I need to go around to get on that hill. We can go grab these two probably reasonably quickly. Let's play around with a shotgun. We already turn other weapons into a shotgun, but how about we actually use like an actual shotgun? The best part is, we're gonna subvert expectations. We're not gonna give this shotgun more spread or more bullets. We're just gonna give it the amount of bullets it has. Sure. Have the shotgun shoot super pellets. What are we thinking? Explosive rounds? Giant explosive super pellets? That could be fun. I haven't used cryo rounds at all yet today, though. We'll see how I feel when we get to the option. The Chevron Charm is the correct answer, but we're gonna gamble it away. Ooh. There's something we haven't seen in a bit. The electrically dissuasive barrel. No. This is gonna change things too much. I do love this gun, but that's increasing the amount of bullets, which is what I said I wasn't gonna do with this. Sure. Going for some armor and damage seems like a good idea with a shotgun. Considering I'm probably also not increasing our range much. So we're gonna have to be in there. All things according to plan, though, this shotgun's just gonna turn into a deletion cannon. Like, whatever is in front of me just gets deleted. Just pull trigger, thing go away, like a shotgun should. I just wanted to bust up those robots, because I can never remember if they drop anything cool, and they drop resources, which is technically cool. It's just not as exciting as it could be, you know? Going off the armor logic, having this retaliate thing will also be helpful. And it has a bit of experience gain rate, so it'll be helpful. Irregardless. I have something on my head, and I don't appreciate that it's there. I think I ended up grabbing the wrong thing because I tried to start moving immediately. So it ended up cycling to the thing above the thing I was pointing at. They want me to have all these damn bullet count increasing things. No. Oh, I guess it's meant to be cryo ammo. Interesting. Final shot in every magazine gain the following effects. 1.5 times bullet damage, equals 3 penetrations, double bullet size, and it gains the cutting element, which is interesting. There's an argument to be made for me to actually taking manual control of my aiming here. Is it's not firing the most efficiently it could. Is it's firing in a lot of ways where only like single targets are getting hit. Whereas it could end up spreading in such a way that it hits like 6 targets instead. Ew. This shotgun setup might not be long for this world. Oh, especially if I go this way. Oh boy. Am I gonna get Frenzy back in time to get out of this situation? Or apparently I'm just gonna be able to worm my way out of that of my own power. It would be very funny to take the eyeball charm for vision range when I have the shotgun where I can't use that. So that does have an armor increaser as well. No. Giant's harness. Sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. Na 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 na. Bullet damage up. I was kind of hoping that would be something more beneficial than just a temporary buff, but you know what? Right now I do need that temporary buff, so it's fine. I was being way too bold for my own good there. Star Split Serpent. We're doing solid damage to him, just we are not really in a position or condition to be dealing with him on a more level field here. I think this is a case of we just cheese it. And I don't mean cheese it by making it easier, I mean cheese it as in run for my goddamn life. I got caught by the edge of that shot. Oh, we found something. And I do like the idea of what we were doing there. Yeah, we found that. Another gun part. I think what we're going to need to do, though, is do what I was thinking about doing, which is come in from an earlier part. So we have time to build up some power first. Because we were struggling to kill enemies a lot of the time there, and it was becoming an issue. Because the faster you kill, obviously, the faster you gain experience. The faster you gain experience, the faster you gain power. Then you get the money, then you get the women, then you get the power. Wait, no, we got the power twice. That doesn't work. We could go Hell Spitter again and just not go Hell Splitter. Go Hellfire instead. No. That could actually be funny. Every bullet you've fired since reloading or letting go of the trigger will decrease your bullet spread bit by bit. So what if we take the shock absorbing stock and it tightens our shotgun's spread down to where all the bullets go together in a single space and it just becomes a slug gun? You know what? I'm here for it. Let's try it. We're gonna invert the shotgun. This seems like the perfect dumb idea for me right now. Y'all can't see it, by the way, but I can feel myself physically and visibly perking up when I said that line of thought. Because that's just how I feel about goofy ideas like that. Just like, ooh. We don't really need the collection range necessarily from the sucker grip. Oh, there's the explosive rounds I was talking about. Because we didn't even get past regular explosive rounds when we had them before. Yeah, you know what? Explosive shotgun. I love making explosive shotgun. I've made it a bunch of times, but it is one of my favorite setups. Just because the sheer carnage from it is delicious. But sometimes you just gotta wreak havoc, you know? You just gotta make a mess. I do want to try a sniping setup again, too, at some point. With, like, piles of vision range, single shot, and just, like, pound through 1,000 enemies in one shot type deal. I think that'd be fun. Grenade launcher or helix barrel? Neither. Could get ducky. That does get us basically things we want. That's why we never sold the chicken charm on a weapon, is because we don't have it. Ducky doesn't really give us enough, though. It's just fire rate and reload speed, mostly. Until Kestrel. Nah. Take the frame stock. Which it itself doesn't do a lot of benefit either, but it gets us one step closer to the frame I'm aiming for. The stock, rather. I had a choice between which of the two words was the one that I wanted. Oh, I see. T turns on all of the auto-targeting at once. That's why when I pressed T by accident there instead of Y, everything shut off. Understood. I could do fuckery with the containment field again. This is how the containment field works for those who have never seen it, is it makes a bubble around you. And that bubble works off of vision range, as you see there. And your own bullets cannot leave the bubble. So all of your bullets will just start bouncing around in there, giving you essentially the same kind of like death aura you'd have with, say, the aura move from Mega Bonk or the garlic from Vampire Survivors, anything like that. You eventually just have so many bullets bouncing around in that circle, you basically just have a death aura like that. Which can be a lot of fun. But it kind of removes the point of this being a shotgun if I do that. So let's take the Heart Charm again. I'm feeling like health might be better than armor. So I guess health and armor together is probably the move. So this game doesn't seem to favor durability like some Bullet Heavens do. There's usually a leaning one way or the other with these games. You either have the game that leans heavily towards durability being important, or a game that's leaning very heavily towards power being important. This one seems like power and economy is usually more important than durability, since you can just kind of dodge and weave for the most part. This thing kept me from getting into this zone for so long because I kept getting intimidated by its rapid fire alongside this tower. But if there's one benefit my kind of lackadaisical attitude has right now, it's I don't fear death. I have no fear of death right now. I'm just in full, I'm just vibing mode today, and it's handy for some things, I gotta say. Like, apathy is a powerful weapon at times when used correctly. Like, oh, I'm dead now. I just get back on the horse then. Da-da-da. Only problem with the sawed-off barrel is it does give us more bullet count at some point. Otherwise, that'd be the natural choice for the shotgun. Then we re-roll it away and make myself sad. Actually, yeah, because this rate of fire reduces bullet spread with the ergonomic grip. So we can have two different things reducing our bullet spread on this shotgun. Yes, I'm here for it. This is the plan. The spreadless shotgun. This is so dumb. And I know it's not gonna work well. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna work well in that it'll hit hard, but we're gonna lose area coverage as we go with it, so it is gonna get me in trouble. But it'll be funny. Like, wait, he's using a shotgun, but I only see one bullet. Oh wow, that thing's taking 12 damage numbers per bullet. That's, huh. That's something. Because they're getting 12 for the price of one. Aha. Hello, sir. Enjoy the power of Super Shotgun. I may not be Doom Guy, but goddammit, I've got a good shotgun. Which, that's another thing, and kind of, it's also harking back to the old sniping shotguns that some games had, which, you know, never really how that's supposed to work, but, it's fun, so... We are in so much danger right now. Really should just pop the serpent. There we go. Okay, we got turrets from the drone. Does underbarrel effects work with the drone? I can't use either of these because they technically are changing my bullet count, and I'm trying to follow my rules. Blood and thunder. Oh wait, that increased my bullet count too. God damn it. Well, it's fine. It only raised it 16%. It's not really going to affect it that much. I fucked up. Blood and Thunder's so fitting for a shotgun. Get our gyroscopic harness back. Just obliterated the poor thing. Problem is our fire rate is now kind of sad, but it doesn't matter. Every shot that comes out of this thing makes things very unhappy. With this fire rate, what I really need is that fire magazine that'll set the ground on fire, the napalm stuff. Because the napalm will allow this to have some sustaining between shots. Which is kind of important. Because otherwise you're kind of just losing time and the game scales ahead of you because you're not acting on every opportunity you have to be dealing damage. Which is kind of why high fire rate builds kind of thrive in this game. Is because you're constantly putting power back against your enemy. Like, if you just let the game push you without any pushback, you're just gonna get pushed around. I know that sounds like a dumb sentence, but the point is valid. Which, it's much like life in that way, actually. You can't just not push back at any point, because you are going to just get pushed around. No, there's a door we can't open. That's a shame. He thinks this is how we die. Except I have the power of apples on my side. Haha! There's the shock absorbing stock. That's tightened the spread head down a lot. We don't have enough of a mag size now, though, for the shock absorption to really kick in. I made a mistake trying to tank that. And it's sequences like that that are exactly why you need some fire rate. Is you just get overwhelmed otherwise. I think I pushed ahead a little too soon with this gun, too. I don't think it was ready. But we keep finding new parts of the map. Oh, hey. We didn't have the shock-absorbing stock at any point before, apparently. Which, that checks. I think I have never used it before, actually. So that's a couple more missions in the books. So I think we do the same thing that succeeded when we were going this way. We start up here, we hang out for a while, probably kill like a boss or so, get some solid strength behind us, and then make our foray down. Because well, to be fair, we also missed our exit for getting into here to get this. Because otherwise we would have had this, I think. Do I want to go back and try the Hydra mini missile swarm again? Snapping could be a good job. I do appreciate that there's no damage fall off on these mini missiles. Yeah. Fires the swarmers. Because if we're not going to the hive, we also don't need to worry about the mini missiles automatically hitting hives and killing me. We could also fuck around with the containment field with this, actually. So you get an idea what I was talking about with that. You see, we are now in a bubble. Any missiles that don't hit an enemy before they get to the edge of the bubble now bounce around inside the bubble. So we just have like an explosive nightmare within our little bubble shield here. Which is gonna have the opposite effect of how these swarmer builds usually end up going, where they start clearing everything off the edge of the screen, making it hard for me to collect. We now are guaranteed to be able to collect because they'll be right here with us. You know what? Sure, we'll go Helix Barrel as well for funsies. because it'll make the amount of missiles inside the bubble increase much more dramatically without having any real detriments. The effects multiplies the radius of your area effect attacks. I assume that includes explosions. It also gives me the vision range I'm going to want for expanding my radius here. It's just because of the size of some enemies, we do want to increase our bubble size here, or we are going to have a little bit of an issue. But as you can see, we already kind of have protection from anything that tries to walk near us, because we just have, like, several atom patterns of missiles bouncing around us. The guarded grip was one of the ones I was looking for when I was doing the shotgun build. Which, honestly, it still works for this, too, because there's going to be times where something's going to be able to pierce through our protection. I am one with the explosions. All shall explode that go near me. The biggest danger we're going to have with this setup is fighting against towers. Is we're gonna have to basically walk it in on a tower and just like walk our nightmare right up against them, which is going to involve tanking whatever shots it's throwing at us, which is part of why the guarded grip was a good idea, because there's only so well I'll be able to dodge. Look at that. We just hit him with our entire containment field, and most of its health just got rinsed away straight away. Just absolutely devastating. And I've definitely done this bit before back when I was playing this more. I can guarantee you that. Let's go ahead and get the eyeball charm. Notice everything zooming out and all our missiles becoming smaller. We're smaller. This is what I was talking about with how vision range works. It's kind of subtle unless you get a lot of vision range at once. So you may not even realize that everything's shrinking. That's exactly how they do it. It's actually kind of clever that way, where everything steadily gets further out as you go. Boom, bada bum, boom, ba ba boom, ba ba da ba ba boom, bada bum boom boom as you go boom, boom bada boom 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 boom. Great commentary as I just say boom, boom ba doom ba doom, boom boom boom. You know, sometimes there's just nothing else to add. Sometimes all there is in the world is boom. Get us some reload speed because we definitely need it. I may as well talk about some of the potentials for the future plans while I've got that in my brain. And none of these are guaranteed, of course. But one of the things I was kicking around for doing on Monday was finally actually getting that Dark Cloud playthrough started. I kept bandying that about, and really just waffling around about that one constantly, even though I love that game. Because there are parts of it that are gonna be a problem. And it's nowhere near as unknown as I thought it was, which is another reason why I'm like, I don't know if I need to showcase that particularly. But again, I really like that game, so... probably end up doing that anyway. I just don't know if it'll end up being the next one that happens. But I still want to get Breath of Fire started as well, and I keep ending up waffling about that too. Which, both of them have a similar problem in they're both long games that are going to involve a lot of reading. So I think Dark Cloud's shorter than Breath of Fire 1? I'll have to actually look at that. I don't actually know which one's shorter, so don't quote me on that. It's like, I genuinely want to do the whole Breath of Fire series to catch up to the fact that we did Dragon Quarter and didn't do any of the other ones yet. Because that really still feels like a travesty. Then again, it's also a travesty that Capcom's just forgot that series exists too, but that's a whole other issue. And that is a different situation as well, is not that I have to do all the series back to back anyway, but what's left of Breath of Fire is 4 games, whereas Dark Cloud is 2 games. So there's a consideration there as well, which is part of why Dark Cloud's the front runner in my mind right now for that. Because we could probably finish both of those before the year's over. And then that'll have the slate be cleaner for us to spend a good chunk of next year just powering through all 4 Breath of Fires. So that's an idea. Ooh, killing an enemy or destroying a breakable with special power will immediately collect the experience and resources they drop. I'm assuming that'll count my... Wait, no, special power would be anything non-bullet. So I don't think that counts our frenzy. So that wouldn't work. That would be things like the flamethrowers, grenades, potentially, things like that. Let's go ahead and grab bullet optimization instead. Is the more tech stacks we get give us resource drop rate, which will be kind of handy. Like, this is kind of like the farming setup with the tech field. Like, if you just want resources, you just engage the bubble. Because you're also pretty much guaranteed to collect them, since you really don't have that much range to worry about there. Goodbye, machine gun turret. Goodbye, regular turret. You're not going away fast enough. Frenzy! Ah! That's gonna be one problem, though, is I'm not gonna be able to see projectiles heading towards me or anything once this starts happening. We just disappear in the cloud of explosions. So that's something to consider. That's like the big weakness of this setup, is you disappear in the cloud of explosions and don't know that you're gonna be getting hit because you can't dodge, because you can't see. But it's funny though, and to my mind, funny is worth it. It also is a build that doesn't need to worry about reload speed as much, or at the very least not necessarily reload timing, because the bullets are constantly going. The only time you have to worry about it is if you have something that absorbs like the majority of your little swarm of bullets here. And just think, I have this much flying around me, even though I only have 11 ammo per set. Oh, run out of rockets. They're starting to survive too much of it. And I'm walking through them a little more than I should be. Get a couple more rockets in the magazine. Hi, Star or Bertha. That's gonna be inconvenient. That's actually gonna be majorly inconvenient. Frenzy! Ah! Wow, that's actually working, like, really well. Goodbye, Bertha. Yeah, Bertha's horns for the damage. Like, I knew that was gonna work, I didn't realize quite how effectively that was going to work. Let's get rid of this tower, then we'll go over there and do the thing. Why are we getting more of these? They're getting past Seribot. Is Seribot not doing its job? Must be a new thing that Seribot hasn't had coded in yet. Either way, perish. May your creator remain destitute for eternity. Tech Splitter magazine. So I've decided that that's more upsetting to say to someone that's running scam bots and such than anything else you could possibly say. I do not wish ill upon many groups of people, but the people that spend their time making these shitty bots that are making things so annoying, they're one of those groups that I do not approve of in the slightest. Admittedly, they are arguably one of the more redeemable ones out of the pile that I dislike, but that's neither here nor there. Go get another magnet as I walk my giant pile of explosions towards my next enemy. Wow, there's a lot of angry turrets in this area, huh? Let's just get rid of all of those. We don't need those. Nobody wants scary turrets around. Nobody wants that unless they're your scary turrets. Then they're great. Like those are my scary turrets. I guess technically they're my drone's scary turrets, so if he ever rebelled, then that would be a problem, but... You know, don't worry about such things. It's fine. It's totally fine. Let's frenzy up so we can get some more coverage. So I'm pretty confident that... Ooh, I have to find 4 missing parts. That's different. I think that... Actually, no. I think that's one of the drop pods, because, you know, it's a broken pod-looking thing. So that part may seem obvious. But it also kind of matches the silhouette of one of the drop pods in the list. And I think that's the same thing I had to do to fix to get the gambler pod, is I had to repair it when I found it. There's one of the parts. Oh, I have to carry it too. You know, this is a good build for this then, is I have my bullet shield while I'm carrying this object slowly. I don't recall ever having to do an actual, like, carry object thing, so either that's new, or this is different, and I'm just confusing myself. Could really go either way with that one. But based on our current time, unless this takes a turn for the worse suddenly, which it easily could, we are probably going to do this as our last run. Question is, how far away are these parts going to be? Because that first one was close, but they might not all be close. Oh, there's a gun part there, though. I'm much more interested in that in the immediate. Mostly because we can actually, you know, just grab that. So speaking of gun parts, I also have this weird urge to play Mercenary Kings again. I never finished that. And for those that don't know what Mercenary Kings is, essentially combine Monster Hunter with Metal Slug, and you basically have the idea of what that is. It's very silly. It's a little scuffed in places, but it's a fun time for the most part. Sadly, it's not about hunting big things that I compare it to Monster Hunter. It's more the progression is similar. Where you've got to grind for materials off of specific enemies, and the mission structure is similar because you're going up through ranks and all of that. And the way I'm describing it makes it sound like just about anything else, so I'm not explaining it properly. But the main point is there. Also, yes, we did just demolish Big Carl, like, instantly. There we go. I think I've spun the thing properly. No, I didn't. I lost it at some point. Not being able to see what I'm doing kind of makes it hard to do that properly. Oh, there's another part, so yes, these can actually be fairly distant, and that's upsetting. Good timing on those turrets. Anyway, slow ride. Blow them all up. Do-do-do-do. Wish I could run. Do-do-do-do-do. I wonder if having Adrenaline Rush would allow you to move faster with that, or not. Let's go ahead and get the Energy Blaster. Or projectiles to bounce around in here. Because I think they get caught in here, too. Can't really see because of all the explosions. But, you know, can't really afford to stop exploding everything either, so... Details, details. They're so slow carrying this thing. It's a really good thing I can't hurt myself with my own explosions. This would have been over a long time ago if I could self-damage. Like, literally, as soon as we activated the containment field, we basically would have just died instantly. So speaking of dying, I am almost dead. Get the force multiplier that is crits. Let's see about finding some healing. Not that I'll be able to tell if any drop, I'll just have to look at my health bar and hope that it goes up. It's mostly these shooting guys that are an issue, because I can't see myself well enough to be like, yeah, I'm guaranteed out of his range there. Oh wow, we still had turrets over here, look at that. This is not the place I wanted to be with lowered health, but you know what, we found another gun part, and sometimes that's what really matters. That's the real meaning of Christmas. No, it isn't. Not in the slightest. I can't even joke that one into existence. Just like, nah. Nah, people will actually think I mean that. Let's not do that one. Golden Eye Charm. Oh, hey, that actually works with the thing we have. Look at that. It's a shame we can't have it yet, but you know, it's fine. Best not to think too hard about that part. Enhanced vulnerability. I mean, sure, we are actually magnifying our crit chance, so sure. Get me a nice whack of extra health. Not to mention it boosts our crit chance further anyway. Look at all those yellow numbers now when everything is exploding. You'll love to see it. Oh yeah, gang gang! I forgot about these little bastards with their guns. Hey bud, your gang's all dead. Now you're gonna join them. Yes you are. Wow, yeah, he died fast. Not as fast as his friends, but you know. Gang gang's golden gat. Lowers our mag size, but that's a hefty damage increase. Sure. I need to get rid of these shooters. There we go. Thankfully, my drone is actually really kicking off now, so he should help quite a bit. We could get the shock-mounted scanning system and max out our crit chance. Doesn't really help us in any other ways. Let's go ahead and get the glass eyeball instead. Extend that vision range out some more. Let's get some great perspective of what's happening here. Wow, they know my weakness. They've spawned more shooters. Joke's on them. I no longer have as much of a weakness. I have coverage now. My drone's also gotten way more kills this time, so he's buffed. Actually, that's perfect. My partner every 100 kills gives me armor, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, absolutely. More often than not, when a tuning selection comes up, if I'm not in the middle of talking to y'all, I do tend to take a drink, but it's a good shout. Especially with the way allergies and everything have been destroying me. Extra water is necessary. Let's see. Yeah, let's get some more reload speed. Compensate for some of the negatives I've taken over the course of this. As my swarm of angry missile bees continue to spin around me. You know, now I want to draw bee missiles. But, like, would they be... I mean, they wouldn't really be any different than a bee, though, would they? It would just be a missile painted to look like a bee. And with wings. Huh. I don't really know how to take that idea an extra step now that I say that out loud. Huh. Something to think about. I really need to just take my art and the extra step somehow, some way to begin with, because I really do feel like I've fallen into a rut again. Just a matter of figuring out what I want to do with it. But that's a whole other problem for a whole other time. So with me ending early today, I may actually sit down and do art again. Is that something I can do without it being too much of an imposition on myself? That was a lot of apples. And a lot of much needed health. We like doubled the amount of health we had on hand. And through that. More parts. Give me things. And of course, since I did this is the last attempt announcement, of course now it's going so well, because that's always the way. Last run's always best run. We all know how that works. Because now the chips are down. Blade of Truth. Okay, that's a bayonet attachment and upgrade. Oh wait, we already have maxed out crit chance. Bullet damage then. More bullet damage. Oh yeah, I probably should defend this tree, huh? Considering it's here. Oh, and for anybody that was interested in the idea of me doing those voice commissions, that is making progress. I have a setup now that I'm happy with for making the actual voices clear and coherent. Just a matter of actually figuring out how I want to set up the commission structure itself. So I've been bandying it back and forth in my head, and there's an issue with like every structure I've thought of for it so far. Like the ideal answer I can think of is having people like actively tell me what they want before any money is put down, so I can figure out whether that's something I can do. The problem with that ends up being I can't really give the commissioner samples of it. At least no complete samples, otherwise there's a chance, since no money's been put down, that somebody will scam me and run off with the file without paying. I'm not saying it's likely to happen, but there's always the risk there, and you should cover for your risks. And if my prices were going to be higher, obviously, I would say a half up front, half after completion would be a valid choice there, but for the price I'm planning on charging, half up front and half after ain't worth it. And that's also a fair comment to make about the potential of people running off without paying as well. Oh no, I'm out my $5. But at the same time, part of the point of doing this is getting those $5. So it kind of puts it in an awkward position there a little bit. But the easy argument can be made of just do it, try things, see how they end up working out, and go from there. Because as I go, I can obviously end up with an established set of voices to use. I don't want to set down a specific set for it. One, because that's limiting, and two, because I don't have any, like, set in stone voices for myself quite. Like, I've got a few I do well, as y'all have heard, but also putting a name to those is tricky sometimes too, because what you name it may not be the same as what somebody may think it would be named, so it's hard to do something with that there. And I don't think I can actually put samples up on Ko-fi for that, because I don't think you can actually put audio files in the sample section of Ko-fi. I haven't tried that yet. That's going to be one of the other issues, is getting samples available. another gun part. But this is why, even though I said like a couple weeks ago now, I think, that I was going to start offering voice commission stuff, that's why it hasn't happened yet. There's a lot of background work that has to happen there before that actually kicks off and becomes a thing. And I keep meaning to talk to more people that I know that are in that line of work to see how they have figured things like that out, but a lot of them are... like, a lot of them I don't know well enough to be asking questions is one thing. And two, there's a chunk of them that do not safe for work ones, and they do it through a completely different service, obviously. So their options are different than mine. If I recall right, Kofi kind of frowns upon the not safe for work stuff at this point, so I wouldn't really be doing any of that. At least none in an obvious manner. I'm not opposed to doing it, but it would be one of those things I'd have to be careful about. Because I know PayPal's also funny about that these days, so there would have to be layers of caution involved in that. Which again all adds into what I was talking about of like, I need to be careful how I do this and think it really well through, both to provide a good experience to y'all for your commissions and protect myself as much as possible. And speaking of protecting myself, there's the death. Not that we even get to see it happen because we were just in a fireball. But that went well. We'll take a look at some of the stuff we picked up, and then we'll head off for the day. So at least we still ended up with a 3-hour session, roughly. Complete some more missions, get some extra dosh. Let's see, infinite ammo belt. Reloads are now instant. Ooh, I like that one. Lightning magnet grip. Collecting experience will release a Tesla bolt that deals damage to a random nearby enemy and arcs to additional random nearby enemies. That makes that one more worth getting. I like that we're starting to get some of the final upgrades of these sets, too. I missed one in this set, so this one's not useful, but I'll get it now while I'm thinking about it. Bullets from the final shot in your magazine will gain increased bullet damage. Your drone also gains this effect. Neat. Blade of Truth shoots additional short-sight projectiles when you're at least half health. I remember that one from the earlier versions of this game before this whole chain of upgrades was required. So yeah, we got some neat stuff there. I should have looked at what the power rating for that weapon is. I'm pretty sure it's not as high because it has its weaknesses, but, you know. I'll take a quick look over the raid list, but since this is a day where I was just feeling generally just kind of we may end up skipping out on raiding today. Which I know that's disappointing, but it's one of those things where it's that mix of headspace and health. So admittedly, neither of them are so bad off that I can't do anything. It's just a matter of I won't necessarily be able to put my best foot forward, and I prefer to give people my best when I send over to them. Yeah, I think this will be a skip day. I know this one was short and no raid and everything, but thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. I do appreciate y'all sticking with me, even when I'm having an off day, which hopefully the off part of this didn't end up showing too much for y'all, but you know, it can be clear even if I hide it. So it'll be what it'll be. We'll be back on Monday with either one of the things I was talking about or something completely different because an opportunity shows up. Who knows? Take care of yourselves, and I'll see y'all Monday. Good night, everybody.